Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'll show you how to create this Elementor pricing table using the Elementor Flexbox container layout. This pricing section offers 3 different plans as well as has a toggle button that allows you to choose between monthly and yearly billing. Furthermore, this pricing section also has a popular plan with a special focus. Now without any further ado, let's get started. To create this advanced WordPress pricing table, open the same page with the Elementor editor where you want to create the pricing table. Now insert a container at the location where you want to create the pricing table. Let's call it the pricing parent container. While the pricing parent container is still selected, go to the Style tab and set the background color of the section. After that, click on the Advanced tab, then unlink and set the top-bottom padding to 70 pixels and the left-right padding to 50 pixels. Now insert a container within the pricing parent container, then duplicate it to create another container. Now, the first container will be referred to as the top pricing container, and the second as the bottom pricing container. Next, select the top pricing container, then go to the Items Setting option, and set the direction to column, align items to center, and justify content to center. Now insert a heading within the top pricing container. Let's call it the title heading. Next, enter the heading title, and proceed as I am. Now, insert a container below the heading within the top pricing container. Let's call it the toggle button container. While the toggle button container is still selected, go to the Layout tab and set the content width to full width and width to 36%. After that, expand the item setting. Set the direction to row, align items to center, justify content to center, and elements gap to 0 pixels. Next, switch to the Style tab and set the box shadow as mine. Now, insert a container within the toggle button container. Let's call it the monthly billing button. While the monthly billing button is still selected, go to the Style tab and set the solid border with 2 pixels width. After that, go to the Advanced tab, then unlink and set the top-bottom padding to 8 pixels and the left-right padding to 5 pixels, as well as enter the same ID and CSS class as mine in their respective fields. Now insert a heading within the monthly billing button. Next, enter the heading title and rest do the styling as mine. Once you will finish the styling, then duplicate the monthly billing button and rename it to the yearly billing button. While the yearly billing button is still selected, go to the Advanced tab and change the ID and CSS class as mine. Next, change the text of the yearly billing button. Now that we have successfully created the toggle button for our Elementor pricing table, let's create our actual pricing table. To do so, insert a container within the bottom pricing container. Let's call it the pricing table wrapper. While the pricing table wrapper is still selected, go to the items option. Set the direction to row, and the elements gap to 0 pixels. Now, insert a container within the pricing table wrapper. Let's call it the small plan wrapper. Next, duplicate the small plan wrapper twice to create 2 more containers. After that, rename the middle duplicate container to big plan wrapper, and the bottom one to agency plan wrapper. After that, select the small plan wrapper, go to the Layout tab, then set the container width to full width, and width to 32%. Next, expand the items option. Set the direction to column, align items to center, and justify content to center. Now, select the big plan wrapper, go to the Layout tab, then set the container width to full width, and width to 36%. Next, expand the items option. Set the items direction to column, align items to center, and justify content to center. Now, select the agency plan wrapper, go to the Layout tab, then set the container width to full width, and width to 32%. Next, expand the items option. Set the items direction to column, align items to center, and justify content to center. Now insert a container within the small plan wrapper. Let's call it the small plan container. While the small plan container is still selected, set the minimum height to 390 pixels. Now, go to the Style tab, set the background color, and box shadow. Now, within the small plan container, insert 2 headings, followed by a divider, then another heading, and then a container, followed by an icon list, and at the bottom, insert a button widget. Now customize all the widgets of the small plan container one by one. While you customizing this divider, then make sure to set the width in a pixel unit, not in percentage, otherwise, your divider will disappear once you will align items to the center. Now here in this pricing tag heading, I have added a few custom IDs and classes, so you need to add exactly the same IDs and classes in your heading as well. By the way, I have provided complete code snippet download links in the description along with all the heading codes, so you don't need to worry, simply follow along with me, and your Elementor pricing table will be created without any trouble. Now select this container. Let's call it the discount container. While the discount container is still selected, go to the Layout tab, and set the content width to full width, and width to 50%. After that, expand the item setting, set the direction to column, align items to center, and justify content to center. Next, go to the Style tab, and set the background color. Next, go to the Advanced tab, set the padding to 3 pixels, and enter the same CSS class as mine in the CSS classes field. Now, insert a heading within the discount container. Next, enter the heading title, and the rest do the styling as mine. Now select the button widget, and rename it the monthly cart button. After that, do the styling as I do. Now that we have successfully stylized the appearance of all the elements in the small plan container. Now, select the small plan container, then expand the items option. Set the items direction to column, align items to center, justify content to center, and elements gap to 15 pixels. Before we proceed further, let's stylize the already created components of our WordPress pricing table for tablet and mobile devices. To do so, select the Responsive Mode tool from the bottom left corner, then select the tablet mode from the top of the screen, and do the changes as I'm doing. After you have finished with tablet mode, switch to mobile mode, and do the adjustment as I'm doing. Next, select and copy the small plan container and paste it into the both big plan wrapper as well as in agency plan wrapper. Now select the newly pasted small plan container from the big plan wrapper and rename it to the Big Plan container. While the Big Plan container is still selected, change the minimum height to 450 pixels. Next, switch to the Style tab. Then change the background color and box shadow as well as add 5 pixels bottom border. Now switch to the Advanced tab and set the Z index to 1. Next, modify the content of the Big Plan container as needed. Next, modify the content of the Agency Plan container as needed. If you want to convert any list item text to bold text, then enclose the text line within the strong HTML tag, as shown here. After you have finished the changes, insert a container above the Big Plan container within the Big Plan wrapper. Let's call it the Focus Label container. While the Focus Label container is selected, go to the Layout tab. Set the content width to full width, and width to 55%. Next, switch to the Style tab, and set the background color. Next, switch to the Advanced tab, and set the padding to 5 pixels. After that, insert a heading within the Focus Label container. Following that, enter the heading text and style it as mine. Now, select the Big Plan wrapper, then expand the Items option under the Layout tab and set the Elements gap to 0 pixels. Next, switch to the Advanced tab, then unlink and set the bottom padding to 22 pixels. Now that we have successfully customized all of the plans of our Elementor pricing table in the desktop view, let's see what else needs to be done in the tablet and mobile views. To do so, select the Responsive Mode tool from the bottom left corner, then select the tablet mode from the top of the screen, and proceed as I am. After you have finished with tablet mode, switch to mobile mode, and proceed as I am. Now that we have customized our Elementor pricing table in all the devices, let's change the appearance of the middle focus plan cart button. Finally, duplicate each plan container's monthly cart button. And rename it to the yearly cart button one by one. You may be wondering why I duplicated the buttons to create one additional button in each pricing plan container. The reason is that in the monthly cart button, we will link our monthly pricing cart, and in the yearly cart button, we will link our yearly pricing cart. When a user will click on the monthly plan, then the monthly cart button will appear, and if a user switches to the yearly plan, then the yearly cart button will appear. One last note, once a user will switch the plan, then he or she will not recognize the button switching because our button style is exactly the same. Now, let's enter the cart link for monthly as well as yearly plans. For demonstration purposes, I will input the Google search engine link in the monthly button, and the Bing search engine link in the yearly button. Now, select the monthly cart button. Then go to the Advanced tab, and enter the same CSS class as mine in the CSS classes field. After that, select the yearly cart button. Then go to the Advanced tab, and enter the same CSS class as mine in the CSS classes field. Similarly, do the same with the big plan container buttons and agency plan container buttons. Now copy the provided code snippet from the link, and insert an HTML widget above the title heading. Let's call it the Elementor pricing code snippet. Now paste the copied Elementor pricing table code snippet within the HTML widget. Now, let's see if our Elementor pricing widget is working or not. But before that, let me update the changes on our page. Otherwise changes will not be reflect on actual site. Now you can see that our toggle button is perfectly working. Let's also check if our button link is changing with the toggle button or not. If you remembered, I have added the Bing.com link to the yearly cart buttons, and Google.com to the monthly cart buttons. So when the monthly billing is activated by the toggle button, then Google.com should open with a click of the button. And when yearly billing is activated by the toggle button, then the Bing.com should open with a click of the button. As you have seen, our cart buttons are also perfectly working. Now, let me explain how you can change the price in our Elementor pricing table before and after the button toggle. To explain this, let me switch to the Elementor editor page. Now here at the very top, we have the jQuery CDN link. If you have already added the jQuery CDN link on your page, then I would recommend you to remove it from here. With the help of this code block, you can change this pricing value color and font size. And from here, you can change the border and background color of this toggle button. With the help of these code blocks, you can change the color of the button text. Here is one thing you need to understand, that any CSS code block, like this, has an active class will take effect on the clicks of the toggle button. These are the media query code blocks. And this is the jQuery code block. Here, if you want to change the yearly price, then change it from here. And if you want to modify the text that appears here after switching to the yearly plan, you can modify it from here. Now, if you want to change the monthly price and this text, then you need to change it in two places. First, change the price value from here, and modify the text from here. The second is that, select the price value heading that is placed below the divider, and then change the price value and text from here. Now here you can see that we have successfully created our Elementor pricing table. Guys, I just want to let you know that it took me almost 25 hours to make this video for you, so please like and subscribe. It will only take you 2 seconds, and if you are facing any problems, please let me know in the comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.